Sometimes we feel our heart is doing a somersault, or sometimes when we're scared, our stomach might be doing a somersault. But to do an actual somersault takes a lot of skill and a certain amount of flexibility. Babies, when they're really young, you can twist them into almost any shape, and their toes can so easily touch their head. But that same baby, when they grow up to be an adult, sometimes when they bend over to touch their toes seem very far away. The body, as it grows up, becomes a little bit more rigid, less flexible. And it's almost like if you don't use it, you lose it. And the same thing happens with our mind. If there's certain skills or tapes in a way in which we don't use our mind, we lose the ability to be able to do so. The mind can be very strong and concentrated. The mind also can be very pure and noble. But there's a third quality. The mind has the ability to think of subtle things. And the best example of that is space. The minute I say space, people think of outer space. But actually, space is just this area between you and me. And to think of that is very, very difficult. We'll think about room space or your space in a phone in terms of a memory chip. But to think about just space requires a mind that is very, very subtle. The more subtle the mind is, the more we can understand divinity, the more we can understand the profound universal laws that exist, because they're all very subtle. To understand immutable, indestructible, timeless, spaceless, these are all qualities that are subtle. The mind requires that ability. Pujya Gurudev used to say, temples are gymnasiums for the mind. And what he meant was that the mind needs to have this ability to be subtle, to be flexible, to be vast. Only then can we understand what the Upanishads are telling us, that our minds limit what we see, and what's there in truth is so vast, more vast than even space itself. And so doing gymnastics with our mind is helping it become subtle enough to understand the truth, which is subtle.